Hello and welcome to Instructor Lesson Online Tutorials. In this smart video tutorial, I want to discuss some problems. I want to solve some problems under simple equation. Here's the first problem I want to consider. 5n equal to 12 minus n. So how should we go about solving this problem? It's very simple. So the techniques I'm going to apply here is what you should be using in further questions you may see that looks like this. So the first thing we want to do is what we call collecting of like terms. CLT stands for collecting like terms. What do we mean by collecting of like terms? We're seeing n in this problem here. We're also having n here. So because we're having n in both sides, we want to group this n together. So by taking this n to the left hand side, we'll be left with the one that does not have n. So finally we'll now know the next thing to do. So what do we do at this point? In taking this n to the left hand side so that it will be part of this particular 5n, the one that we have n already, the first thing we need to do is to write 5n first. And if we are moving, notice that this n is carrying a negative sign. So when you move this minus n to this other side, immediately it's crossing the sign of equality to the left hand side. This minus sign will change to plus n. So when you move it to this side, what will be remaining is 12. Just 12 will be remaining. So the final thing you need to do here is to add up 5n plus n. Notice that this n has invisible 1. There is 1 here. This one is invisible. So that is the reason when you add 5n plus n, you will hear some people saying 6n. You now be wondering how we're able to have that 6. The reason is because this n is carrying an invisible 1 attached to it. It's what we call the coefficient. Alright, so that 1, this one here will add up to this 5 to give you 6. And because this n, they are common, you just take one of them. Alright, and then equate it to 12. So we are looking for 12. We are looking for n, the value of n. So you divide both sides by 6. When you divide this by 6, of course you know that 6 will definitely cancel 6. Therefore, n will be left alone. N will be equal to, when you check 12 divided by 6, 12 divided by 6 means how many times can 6 go into 12? And that's essentially 2 times. So 12 divided by 6 is 2. So the answer to this is 2. Alright, so let's look at the second problem. The second problem we have is 9x plus 1 equals 7x. So we want to follow the same pattern by collecting of like terms. Of course, what we meant by collecting of like terms is the one that has x should be grouped one side, the one that does not have x should be on another side of the equal sign. Alright, so in order for us to separate this by collecting like terms, what we need to do is that the one that have x should be on one side or one part. So we have 9x. Notice that this 7x is carrying positive sign even though it is not written. Because it does not have negative sign, you should just know that it's carrying positive sign. So when 7x is crossing over to this side, it will change to minus 7x. Alright, so if this 7x crosses over, of course you know that there is nothing that will be remaining here. Then you write equal to, but remember that 1 is here and 1 does not have x, so we have to move 1 to this other side. So if this one is moving to this other right side, you always be checking the sign they are carrying. Like this case, this one is carrying a positive sign, so when it crosses to this other side, it changes to minus 1. But if here we are to be minus and this minus 1 crosses to this side, it changes to plus. And because it is plus, as much as it crosses this equal sign to this other side, it changes to minus. So finally, like I said, this x, they are common, so you just write one of them, pick one of it. Then 9 minus 7, that will give you 2. Alright, this will be equal to minus 1. Remember the other time we're having 5n minus n. Because we didn't have any number written, we just know that there is invisible 1 there that we added to 5. But here we have a number already, 7. So 9 minus 7 is 2. Alright, so x, they are common, so pick one of the x. This will be equal to this minus 1. Remember you're looking for x, so divide both sides by 2. When you divide both sides by 2, this 2 will cancel out. Therefore, x will be equal to, what is left is minus 1 over 2. So let's look closely to the next problem we have in here. The next problem is 5a plus 5 equal to 2a plus 20. Just like we've done before, the first thing you must do is to collect like terms. And what does it mean? This one that has 2a should be grouped to this one that has 5a. So we have 5a. Notice that this one is having positive because we don't have minus here, so it's having positive. Move this 2a to this other side. Remember, because it is positive, it will change to minus 2a. Please take note of that. If you miss the sign, you've missed all. You're going to fail it if you don't take notice of the sign. So when you move this 2a across to this part, what will be left here is 20. Remember, the 20 is having plus already. So again, 5 does not have a, so we have to move it to the right hand side. So, and it's carrying plus sign, so it will change to minus 5. All right, so 5a minus 2a, 5 minus 2 will give you 3. Because a, they are common, just take one of it, equal to, so that you can say that 5a minus 2a will give you 3a. So 20 minus 5, that will give you 15, right? So remember that you're looking for a, so you divide both sides by 3 so that a will stand alone. Divide both sides by 3. You must always do this whenever that thing you're looking for is attached to another number. But if it is not attached, maybe if it is plus or minus that is separating, you have to move that number to the other side so that that a will stand alone. So finally, we have a to be equal to 15 divided by 3, that will give you 5. That means how many times can 3 go into 15? It will only go 5 times. So this is the answer. So let's see another problem, which is the final one in this particular section. The first thing you must do, as usual, is to collect like terms. Of course, if you want to collect like terms, you want to move this 11 to meet with this minus 19, and move this 2e to come and meet with this minus 3e. So if we are doing that, you will have minus 3 written first, minus 3e. It should have been only 3e, but this minus is following this 3e. So that's why we've written it. And when you write this minus 3e, you want to bring this 2e across to this part. And here is positive. If it's crossing, it changes to minus 2e. Alright? And this will be equal to, what will be left here is minus 19. If you move this 11 that has a plus to this other side, it will change to minus 11. Alright? So what essentially are you supposed to do at this point? So we want to subtract this. Minus 3e minus 2e. The result of this will be minus 5e. How? Alright, it's just like you're owing me 3 marker. Or let's say you're owing me 3 pen. You came to my house and you borrowed 3 pen. So when you come the next day, instead of you bringing back the 3 pen, you came to borrow another 2 pen. So how many pen have you borrowed altogether? You've borrowed 5 pen. So because it is borrowed, it is debt, you're owing, so it goes with negative sign. That's essentially what it means. So minus 3 minus 2 will give you minus 5. Alright, so because the e, they are common, you just pick one, and this will be equal to minus 11 minus 19 minus 11, just like what I explained. You came to borrow you came to borrow 19 pen today. Yet tomorrow when you come, you're borrowing another 11 because it is minus. That's why I'm talking about borrowing. Positive means you've paid the debt. So because you're borrowing you came to borrow 19 pen, the next day you came to borrow 11 pen. So altogether you've borrowed how many pens? So you add up this. Make sure the negative sign will be there to show that it is debt. So 19 minus 19 minus 19 will essentially give you, what's the value there? That will be 30, if we're not making mistake. That means you're owing 30 naira if you're using naira. So finally you divide both sides by minus 5 because you're looking for this e. You divide both sides by minus 5, and this minus will cancel out with minus. Just take note that minus cancels out with minus. 5 will also cancel out, then e will be remaining. E now will be equal to 5 will go into 30. How many times? How many times will it go? Can you think about that? So it will go only 6 times. That's why we have 5 times 6 to give you 30. So this is the solution to it. Let me know if you, in the comment section, if you understand these processes. And if you've not subscribed to my YouTube channel, please hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell, and make sure you like this video. Bye.